Big weekend of sport. Anthony Joshua across all of this morning's back pages following his defeat on Saturday night to Alexander Usyk. So Britain's unified WBA, IBF and WBO heavyweight world champion was comprehensively beaten and dethroned by unanimous decision. But speaking after the fight, AJ says it's all part of the process.
I don't want to be in my bedroom like sulking about the situation. I'm looking at it from a point of view like great lesson, go back, study. That's why I'm not going to, put my head in my palms and cry all night about it. I'm going to lift myself up. I'm going to look myself in the mirror and say, I know I can do it. In adversity, you just got to learn to control yourself, stay on top of things. So when I couldn't see anything, it's the first time it's happened in a fight. So I was thinking, all right, cool, this is the first time my eyes closed up in a fight. I can't see nothing. Like I'm looking at a one eye kind of thing. It got better as the rounds went on. Good pace, and we'll be back.
Yep, Alexander Usyk put in a fantastic performance in Anthony Joshua's own backyard. The Ukrainian is currently undefeated as a professional boxer, but wait to hear this, he fought 320 fights as an amateur. That's unbelievable.
Incredible. Now, after a long, hard-fought road to get his hands on the coveted heavyweight title belts, I wonder how Usyk felt. Let's have a listen.
How do you feel, heavyweight champion of the world?
I'm very feel. Heavyweight champions.
I just love him. I love him. I think he's incredible. I think he is so weird and so brilliant and different. I think it's... Even though we probably shouldn't be backing him, I just feel really happy for him. I just think he's done what he set out to do and proved a lot of people wrong, and took it all in his stride. Super Sam, he was at the fight for talkSPORT. God,
yeah,
I saw some of your pictures. It looked incredible. What was it like?
It was an unbelievable night. I felt very lucky, very privileged to be there. I was 4 rows from the front of the ring. Wow. So I had one of the best seats in the house. The atmosphere was special. I mean, in particular, the first sort of 20-minute build up to the fight was incredible. When Sweet Caroline came on, that's a special thing. The stadium looked magnificent, and then I thought during the fight, guys, I don't know if you watched it, but I thought it went quite quiet, quite flat during the fight, because I think people knew that AJ was being outboxed, outclassed, outthought. But I've got to say, the occasion was amazing. I mean, like being there ringside, I bumped into so many famous people, had a nice chat with like Declan Rice, Mason Mount, Jamie Redknapp's there. Jamie Redknapp's all the big fighters, isn't he? Mo Farah's there. Of course, some big name boxers. So it was an unbelievable night. I went to the Euro 2020 final as well. That was special. But there was something even more special about the fight on Saturday night. The atmosphere was just incredible. Just read you through some headlines this morning. Loads of fallout to the fight. The headline in The Sun: the only thing that's undisputed is Joshua won't get near Fury. In The Telegraph, Joshua's planned £200 million mega fight with Fury is now dead in the water. The Times: 6 months for Joshua to salvage his career. In the Mail, Jeff Powell asked rematch. Well, on this showing, Joshua would have no chance. Usyk is far too slick for a British fighter. And also in the Mail, it's gone Spursy for AJ, outpunched and outthought by Usyk. But Joshua refuses to believe that his career is shattered, and he vows this isn't just one fight. I am not done. I won't sulk. I will bounce right back. Ali McCoist, you love your boxing, don't you? It was an incredible fight, an incredible performance by Usyk. But where does this now leave Anthony Joshua, and what next, you think, for AJ? It has to be a rematch, right?
Aye, there has to be a rematch, but I tell you right now, you look at it, you wouldn't fancy him. You wouldn't fancy him at all. Everybody was telling me beforehand that Usyk was a good fighter, but he cruiserweight couldn't, the heavyweight was too much for him. Anything couldn't be further for the truth, because that lad can box, by the way, and he'll go anywhere to take anybody on. This guy's a proper champion, by the way, Usyk. I'll tell you right now, tremendous. AJ, I don't know. It has to be a rematch, I think, and one that he has to win. But you got to say, you were there on the evidence of what we saw. Oh, he was miles off it. I mean, you look at the defeat they had to Ruiz, Ruiz Jr. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that can happen. You know what I mean? It might be just one of these things, but really concerning for AJ. I know he's saying the right things, Sam. Going back and learning and all that stuff. But I think it was a real, no pun intended, a real eye-opener, man, because You know, it's a kind of crossroads. I think I would go as far to say it's a crossroads for AJ, definitely.
It was very clear straight from the off as well, wasn't it? Literally the first round, you were like, oh, he's in trouble. Sky Sports News were reporting that Anthony Joshua will want an immediate rematch with Oliver Usyk. And then I was listening to Eddie Hearn speaking about it as well, and he was saying that ultimately if he doesn't accept the rematch clause, he's not going to get a chance to get his World Championships back, possibly ever. We all have been waiting, British boxing fans have been waiting for AJ Fury. Feels miles off, feels like it's just not going to happen now, Ali.
It looks miles off, doesn't it? I mean, obviously Fury's got his own big fight coming up, which I've been watching some of the build up to that. I don't know if you've seen
It's
that.
funny, isn't it?
I don't know if you've seen that. Brilliant, isn't he? So he's obviously he seems quite buoyant and confident of carrying out his side of affairs, which you'd have to say, you know, in the previous 2 encounters that he's had with Wilder, he looks very, very comfortable and he fancies chances. We've wanted to see this fight for, it seems like years, and it looks as far off now as it's been in a long, long time.
Also, that rematch, I was looking at some incredible stats. This is for Alexander Usyk. Basically, that whenever he fights and wins, it's never in his home country. He goes to their country, he beats him in their own backyard. So this rematch, if it happens, I did read somewhere as well that he wants it to happen in Ukraine.
Yeah, I was in Eddie Hearn's press conference after, and Eddie Hearn made it pretty clear that 99.9% chance the fight won't be happening in Ukraine. So I think it's going to be unlikely that happens. I'll just want to read this from Dave Kidd. Most papers today are looking now forward to Joshua Fury, and if that's going to happen, Dave Kidd said, so Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua now seems further away than ever, and Fury taking on Joshua for the undisputed world heavyweight title is now unlikely to ever take place, but at least we now know beyond reasonable doubt how it would have ended, with a comprehensive victory for Gypsy King Fury. Most fight fans suspected that after Fury's demolition of Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas last year. Now, after Joshua was outclassed on his way to a unanimous points defeat by Usyk on Saturday night, there cannot even be any serious debate. Perhaps he's right, guys, but here's one for you. Do you think there's any chance they could fight without the belts on the line? Or do you think it has to be with belts on the line?
Would there be much of an appetite for it?
No, exactly. There wouldn't be. There wouldn't be.
Fussed.
We wanted these two guys to fight with, you know, when they're at the peak and prime condition of their careers. You'd have to have big question marks now whether it's ever going to happen, wouldn't you? No, let's be honest about it. I mean, that was a really sore one for AJ. The manner of defeat, taking nothing away from Usyk. I said before, he's real quality. Real quality.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.